What's up, Gene?
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, we've got another guest with us today.
I know, right? This will make two.
No.
Well, what was it, three? We had John too.
Yeah, we had John a couple times. So, but this one is a real king. Well, when he was pulling up, he had sent me a text ahead of time, said, make sure you have the red carpet laid out when I get here.
Give me a break.
So he had a rider like the musicians, right? He had to have red M&Ms, only red M&Ms.
There we go.
That's right. He has no idea what he's in for.
Nope.
So we've got Mark here today. Mark has done some really cool stuff in this area with the car scene, so we want to talk to him about that. And we'll get to that in a bit, which is around the cruise stuff. But Mark, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to meet you in person.
You too.
Yeah, we bumped into
Both of you.
Yeah, we
too.
bumped into each other several times in the past at Cars and Coffee down at the cruise and stuff. But it's cool to actually meet you in person and just spend some time talking to you. So thanks for coming up. I think what we're going to do is back up and see, how long have you been into cars? How did you get into cars? Were you always into cars? Like, let's just kind of roll back the history and kind of see how we got to here today.
Yeah, I've always been into cars all the way since the high school days. I used to have some pretty cool classics. They were still called classics to me back then, but during high school, I really got into it. I had a friend, best friend, Andy. He had a really cool car. He still has this cool car, so that kind of got me inspired. And then I used to cruise the loop all the time, so my father has always liked old cars, so he kind of inspired me the most.
So what were you driving in high school?
I had a 68 Chevelle Malibu.
Nice.
It had a 400 small block. I primered it all gray and put a black hood on it, so I looked cool. And it was kind of raised in the back.
Okay. Oh, she had that rake, like
Oh, yeah,
the
the
slack bars
stance
on
on
the
it
back
with
kind of
the
thing.
traction bars on
Yeah.
underneath it. So that was my go-to car for fast. But then I had I think it was a 70 240Z that I had that looked like a little Corvette.
Ooh.
Okay.
So it was an orange little Corvette. So it was fun. So I had a lot of fun in that.
Modded at all, or
Huh?
was it modded in any way?
No. Well, it was flared out. The bodywork
Okay.
looked like a little Corvette. That's on both the front and back. So I'll show you some pictures of what it looks
Do you
like.
still have these cars?
No.
No. Okay.
That one got stolen from me.
Oh.
You know, right in front of my face, they totaled it. So one night I was in my apartment and got a call from my neighbor and says, "Hey, are you doing something in your car?" I said, "Nope." "Why? What's going on?" So I get up, look out my window, and yeah, they're trying to steal my radio. Well, they got to the radio. They figured, "Oh, let's try to steal it." But the key was the steering wheel was locked.
Yep.
And they couldn't turn it, so they just
And
went
they just-
straight out to the street, over a couple curves, and just totaled it. Right.
What were you
next-
like? What is the mind of someone at that point? Like, we can't drive it. What's the purpose of even trying to take the car?
Well, I don't think they were going to take it, but as I'm yelling outside, running in my underwear, going after my car, then they said, "Oh, crap, let's go."
Okay.
And then that's what kind of did that. So if I would have probably shut up, I probably still have it, but it totaled. That was the second total of it. So
Were they really young teenagers?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
And was
we
it a
know
manual?
who it was. It was manual.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
Nowadays it'd be easy. They wouldn't know how to drive it.
I know it.
Exactly. So that was my favorite because it was given to me by my parents. My sister drove it first, and my brother wrecked it and got it fixed by the Lindstrom auto body that used to be up on Meridian. And then they gave it to me, and then that happened to me. I think I only had the car maybe 4 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was
That's a
like,
bummer.
all right, and away I go. That's my favorite.
That's cool. And on the Chevelle, go back to the Chevelle. What kind of wheels did you have on that?
Oh, there were mag wheels.
Like the Krager mag
Yeah,
wheels.
the
Okay.
Krager
That
mag
is so 70s. You can think you get the visual, right? I completely know what it is. You know, what color were the slapper bars on the back? Were they red, yellow? Saw lots of red ones.
No, they were just silver.
Just over, okay.
Yeah.
But still, I got the visual of that up in the Kragers, backs up a little bit. My wife, she loves the Chevelles, right? She likes the Chevelles and the Novas, and of course, as we know. Oh, I'm going to ask him the question. You know, I'm going to ask him, right? About the Buick? I'm going to ask him about it. Okay, we're going to do that. But she loves those, and she's like, "That's the look that I want." I said, "Honey, if I ever build you one of those, I will never build you one like that. It'll have 22s in the back and 20s in the front. It'll be raked with a really nice modern suspension, but I get the appeal.
Yeah,
I
just
appeal.
love that little. Let's go for a drag race. It's
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Have I told the story about how I almost got Cheryl's dream car?
No.
Okay, so speaking of Chevelle, this is what we do here. Stories lead into other stories. My wife's dream car is a 69 Chevelle. That's what she wants.
Well, okay, well, she's right on the track.
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
a great car.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Her
is.
sister's got a 69 Camaro that she's had since she was 14.
Oh wow.
But Cheryl, she wants the 69 Chevelle. I'd been looking for a 69 Chevelle for a long time, just really long time, trying to find a good one, not like super high end, show car, but something that's good drivable. And this was probably 10 years ago, around that time frame. The guy that I had done a refi through previously, got to know him, got to be friends with him, and then one of my friends that owned a house behind us, he used them as his broker. So we all got to kind of know each other, and he was kind of a car guy. He needed to get some money or something. I don't know the deal, but he had a 69 Chevelle. It needed a little bit of, some restoration to it, but he just put $10K into a brand new engine. So it's drivable. So we're just talking, just kind of shooting the breeze. And he mentioned this, and I'm like, is that a 69? He's like, yeah. I'm like, and you're selling it? And he's like, yeah, I need to get some money. I said, okay, I'll buy it. And he's like, what? He's like kind of shocked. I'm like, I'll buy it if you're selling it. And he's like, okay, how much do you want? And he said, $10K just to cover the engine I just put in it. I said, done. Shook the guy's hand. And we knew each other, and I shook his hand. This was on a Friday, and the car was in Graham, but he lived in Seattle. So I called him, and I'm like, hey, I won't mention his name because his name is also the name of his brokerage company. I don't want to call him out. I called him, and I said, hey, we're going to pick up the car tonight, but you're in Seattle. Don't drive Seattle traffic. That's just crazy to drive on a Friday afternoon. Let's just do it Saturday morning. You come down, you just tell me when, I'll bring my trailer, we'll load it up, come back. Great. Tell Cheryl. Cheryl's ecstatic. Oh my gosh, can't believe this. And then my buddy does paint and body work and upholstery. We'll be able to get everything fixed up. And so I'm already talking to him. His name's John. So I'm talking to John about what we can do and all this stuff. And I'm all excited, I can't believe this is really going to happen. And then the next morning, I get a text, not a call. I get a text from him, and he said, hey, we've got a problem. And I'm like, what's the problem? I call him. I don't want to deal with this with text. Call him up. What's going on? He said, well, my cousin wants to buy the car. I should give this guy a name. I'll call him Joe. Joe, we just shook on this yesterday, and you told me this is my car, and, it's great that you're cousin, but we shook on the deal. And he said, I know, but it's my family. I'm like, it's your cousin. It's not like your brother. It's like a little bit removed from you. Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry. I told him I would. Really, really upset. Really upset with him. I'd never use him again for any brokerage. But we were so close to having, and my buddy John that does paint and body, he ended up doing paint and body on that car.
No.
Afterwards?
Afterwards.
Oh.
And he said that was probably, if we could have got that car at that point, he said that car was worth about $25K at that point. And then the guy who bought it dumped another $25K into the car after he bought it. I'm like, yeah, it's gone.
Is it still local?
I don't know. I lost, I didn't keep in contact with him after that. I was still a little bit
So more or less you gave him a night to think about it and they stewed and you lost it.
Yeah.
And had I made him, I was trying to be the nice guy saying, don't come Friday in afternoon traffic. Had I said, you know what, get your butt down here, I want my car, I would have had the car.
Right.
Yeah.
And we would have had the car right now.
Well, you learned on that one.
I did learn on that one.
And it sucks, though, that a handshake doesn't mean anything like it used to. My grandfather, he's 90 years old. He still laments the fact that handshakes don't mean anything, but they did when he was growing up, and
They still do to me.
Yeah, they do to me too. I know there's certain people that it means a lot to, but
Yeah.
a handshake doesn't mean a lot to people anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So let me ask him the question.
Oh my
Oh, here we
gosh.
go.
So this is born. You have to listen to the last episode that we posted, or we have to post yet. I think he's got to post it soon. But so we're at a Grits garage, and we're just walking around, and there happened to be a
Cars and Coffee.
Cars and Coffee, right? The first one of the month, and there was a black '87 GNX, Buick Grand National, and I made the comment that is my wife's favorite muscle car, and he said that is not a muscle car. So then we started asking around a bunch of people: is it a muscle car or is it not?
Well, first we asked the kid.
We asked this random kid.
We
He's
asked this
probably
rando
18.
kid.
What's that?
Do we have any pictures of it?
No,
No, but it's the perfect.
I think I've seen pictures through the post.
yeah. So what is your take? Is a Buick Grand National a muscle car or no?
I think they're all muscle cars to me. I mean,
I'm in the minority. Me and
Very
David
much
are in
so,
the
yeah.
minority.
He had one guy. So he had one guy, our friend David, who agreed with him. We asked probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 random people. And they're all like, oh, yeah, it's a muscle car. Of course it is.
Yeah, I just have a problem with the visual. Visually, I don't think it fits that muscle car in my head. I just have a hard time thinking that's a muscle car. When I think of other muscle cars of the era, I just have a hard time with
70
that one.
Chevelles.
That's a muscle car,
For
100%. But the 87 Buick GNX is not.
just depends.
But performance-wise,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it was smoking everything for that limited year.
So if I came up to it on a strip, I think I'd be racing a muscle car, especially if it could beat me.
Okay, well, I'm definitely in the minority because I think everybody else agrees that it's a muscle car. So Gene just likes to rub that in now every
Yeah,
every
those are
chance.
muscle cars.
Yeah,
I like them.
they're
I
nice.
like the style.
Yeah.
They could be looking mean, and some of them are.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they're like all blacked out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they look really good.
I think the best one is actually, and I don't even know if it was that actual Buick Grand National, but Kevin Hart, the comedian.
Oh, man.
He had one built that used the Cadillac, so the same motor that's in my car, the CT4V Blackwing. He got his out of a ATS-V, essentially the same motor, just tuned differently. They're twin turbos. We had it turned into a single turbo, and on the GNXs or the Grand Nationals, they've got the single turbo out in the front of the motor, and it has this nice little cover on it. We had that done. He had a modern LF4 look like a 80s single turbo GNX, and then of course the ridiculous suspension, miles deep paint. I bet you that's a $300,000 car minimum.
Oh, yeah.
And it is 700 plus horsepower. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful car.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Man.
Yeah, I think it's a muscle car. So
All right, well, chalk one up. Maybe I'll eventually
maybe
get
a
there.
newer muscle cars.
Yeah, okay, newer. I'm still
in that
struggling.
age area.
But seriously, what's weird is that like the new Challenger, from like 2010, I think 2010, 2013, I consider that a muscle car, and that's a modern car, but I still consider that a muscle car.
But you consider it a sports car?
No.
Nah, there's a whole story about that behind that
Oh
too.
my gosh, it's not a sports car.
No, we're not going to go there. We'll save that for another episode.
my gosh.
But there's a story about that still burns in his brain and mine, and I wasn't even competing in that contest. And I'm still angry about it.
I know, I'm still angry. I was talking about
salty.
it last night. I was just
yeah?
talking about it last night.
Well,
so
I can't wait to hear it.
Well, you got to win this next one. Do something.
yeah, I'll have to. Well, we'll do something. Okay, so now that we've kind of split off into different trails, we'll go back. So that was high school.
Well, high school, that's when I had those cars.
So then fast forward, like post high school, then what does your car journey kind of look like?
Well, I ended up working in a paper mill for 38 years, so that kind of gave me the money to get those kind of cars. But I had a 68 VW camper special van that
Ooh.
I had fun in.
Now,
Like
the 21 window kind of deal, or
like the Fast Times at Ridgemont High days.
Oh, okay.
I kind of was living that style for
Okay.
a while, so it
Yeah.
got me into the cruising. I had the long hair, everything. So,
Okay.
you had the Spicoli looking thing going on. I got you.
well, kind of, but not that extreme.
Okay.
I was having fun, but I was more of a hidden person.
Okay.
in
So the
van with
professional
closet.
Spicoli.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Got it.
Right. We had Irene walking around the school, but the van curtains were closed. So I was at that.
picking up
My
what you're
father
putting
had that. My father had a 69 green Ford that I drove to high school. It was kind of like something we bought from the mill. And then kind of progressed getting married in 90, and we bought the Chevelle that I have now with my ex-wife, and that's kind of how that story started.
And that's a convertible.
Right.
Yeah. You've seen it?
I don't think so.
You haven't seen it? Yeah.
Talk to me about it. What does it look like?
It's red. It's a 1969 red Malibu. It just has a 350 Target Master in it. It was a crate motor we put in there. When that freeze happened in the 90s, it froze that motor. It wasn't an original motor, so I wasn't too worried about it. So me and my brother replaced it, and it's been that motor since, and it's been keep running. So
it's just built to be a really nice cruiser,
like a Cadillac. It just
nice.
It's quiet. I want to get those open headers things just to make it loud a little.
Oh
bit.
yeah,
Like
the little valves that open up. Yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
says rev it up. So okay. I'll go to my photos and show you.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
You've seen it. I'm sure
I'm sure
that
probably
you've
have.
seen it because he's always at the cruises stuff
Yeah.
and with the top down, of course. I don't know if I've ever seen it with the top up.
A couple of them, they were depending on what the weather was going to be like on us. But so far last year, we kind of batted 1,000 on the weather.
Yeah.
So,
Do you take it out in inclement weather?
well, I'll drive it wherever.
Okay.
So it's got the new top on it.
So you mentioned cruising as a kid. You said cruise a loop.
Yep.
And so I know when I was in high school, we also had a cruise. I didn't live here. I lived down in South. I should have looked it up. I was going to look up the name of the place that we used to cruise to. But there was also a loop that we did in the town that I grew up in, or that I went to high school in. They probably for I remember like my first year of cruising, it was just bumper to bumper. Like you hardly moved, very, very slow traffic. Everybody's out. All the high school kids, on a Friday night after the football game is when we cruised, right? After the football game. And down south, football is like a religion. Like where I went to high school.
Preach.
My stadium is bigger than most college stadiums today.
Really?
It's unbelievable. If you look at it today, it's like super
What
nice.
stadium is that?
Oxford.
Oh.
And I don't know how tall. It's all concrete all the way up. Super high end. Anyway, the town shuts down. People parked everywhere. But then after the football game, everybody goes, jumps at all the kids, and we start cruising. And first year was great, but I remember the second year, one of the places that we cruised through was a place that they had go-karts that you could, rent the super slow go-karts, but you go around the go-kart track. And we would go down through this place and come out. This guy started charging $1 for 3 passes. So you would come in, pay him $1, and he would give you 3 tickets. And then when you came back through again, he'd take your tickets. And then once you were done, you had to pay him again.
Wow.
I couldn't believe.
How big was the loop?
It was pretty. Well, the whole loop was probably 2 miles, maybe. But that one section literally went into his establishment and then back out. But that's where everybody, because it also had like an arcade. It's kind of like
It was the hangout.
it was a hangout place, right? So the go-karts had an arcade. All the kids, everybody was hung out there. So you wanted to cruise through there to be seen or see other people. And that guy made a freaking killing.
Sure he did.
I didn't even, well, I kind of see the concept, but interesting.
Yeah, it was, a lot of people complained and were like, oh, the route's going to get changed and go somewhere else. And a couple of people tried to go to like the next establishment down, but no one went there because they all wanted to go where the kids were. They wanted to go be seen. The hangout place. And so that guy, man, he's like, I got a captive audience.
Right. So we've all done, cruising and the loops and whether, in different states I've lived in, but why do you think cruising, and that kind of cruising via a loop and that is so iconic? Why do you think people still do it to this day?
Well, until
people are passionate about it.
6 years ago, yeah. I mean, we couldn't because of the codes and regulations through Puyallup, but they've always talked about it. I think it's just everybody meeting up, having fun together, smiles. When I go there, everybody's smiling, and people are talking to people they probably have never met before. And
for sure.
Talk about their cars and all the cool stories I hear from everybody, past and present. It's kind of the same.
You know, back in the day, they didn't have kids. You know, their kids heard stories all 30 some years to go cruising. Now they get to relive it. And
So it's a bit of a nostalgia then, you
Yeah.
think? Because, you know, the story you just told, I could tell there's a lot of nostalgia in the
Oh, yeah.
story, the way you're talking about it. You're smiling and, you know, so I get that. It's probably why most people are doing that.
and they love showing off their cars.
Oh, and for sure.
Everybody likes to show off the car. And
Yeah.
when I was telling that story, it's funny because I had these good vibe feelings come back because I
And the
remember
visuals. And you're, yeah.
I would always cruise with one of my best
pretty cool.
friends. His name was Rhett, and he had I think it was a Buick Regal. I think it was a two-door Buick Regal gray. He would drive. I'm in the passenger side, and I remember going into that hangout place, and at the very end where the turnaround was gravel. So it was all concrete until the turnaround part. It was all in gravel. And Rhett would always go in there and he would just floor it and we'd just flip around. And when I'm telling that story, my mind went straight to there. So yeah, definitely good vibes. So, let's kind of,
On that note, we kind of did that back in the 80s. We had an arcade on River Road called Vans.
Oh.
And when we were cruising a loop or we were going to Burger King or something, we'd hang out in that old Kmart parking lot and Vans. So that would be our hangout. So that's what we did back in the 80s. That
Really?
was one place the Puyallup people would go and enjoy all those parking lots until people started being idiots, and that kind of is what screwed it all up. But
Well,
same thing, but we didn't charge $1.
Have you always lived in Puyallup?
I have. Well, for 5 years, I moved to Auburn from first grade till fifth grade. Then I came back to Puyallup.
at what point did the cruising stop in Puyallup? Do you know?
The stories that I heard were the mayor of Puyallup was having some kind of emergency going through, and the ambulance couldn't go through. And in '88, I believe that's when they put a kibosh on it. And that's when they started putting the roadblocks. And if you've
It was
been
a knee-jerk
more than
reaction.
yeah. And but I've heard all kinds of other different stories. The Kmart parking lot, people wrecking in there, and someone got killed, and a motorcycle. All kinds of different stories of why they shut it down. And it was kind of going with the flow of the Renton Loop, all the other loops that were having issues too. So I knew that was going to be a problem, but we're all grown up now.
Okay, so
Ish.
Ish, yeah.
okay, so let's then kind of fast forward to today, and we do have lots of cruising that's happening today, but maybe if you can talk about how that actually restarted back up and what that looked like.
Well, it was during COVID, and when everybody was ready to get out and breathe, I took my car up. I saw something on Facebook of the Enumclaw Cruise,
Yep.
and I went up there and watched it all and drove a couple laps. It was completely packed, and it was a good thing for them, and they didn't shut it down and everything. And I kind of thought to myself, well, this isn't fair. And that's kind of what it started. I got home and said something on Facebook. If you guys wanted to start the cruise up again, would you do it? And then that's kind of where it rolled.
Wow.
Yeah. And the first cruise, so Dana from Cruise Enumclaw, she's my mentor. So she's the one that kind of helped me through it. And we all help each other. That's why all our groups, our dates are all in line with each other. So
Yeah, I had a
nobody's
question about
overlapping.
that.
No overlap? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But she is my mentor. She's the one that got me in. She does really good for her city.
She does.
And it's only going to get bigger. So she's trying to create that loop that people go around in circles instead of that just main
Yeah.
road. But it's kind of hard because
It
everybody
is.
wants to be at that
The
destination.
main road, yeah.
Yep.
I went there. So back in 2020 was the first time I had done the Enumclaw one. And I get there, and we're with the Cadillac V Club, and we had probably, I don't know, 6, 7 cars, something like that show up. And I remember pulling in. I'm like, this is like right when the whole thing happened, and there's not a person with a mask walking around at all. I'm thinking to
Right.
myself, do they not know about the global pandemic? Cool, let's enjoy this. And it was great. I mean, there was everything from, the muscle cars. I didn't see any exotic cars, but there's lots of muscle cars to semis and trailers
They
on
had
the road.
tractors
And
up
tractors,
there.
I'm sorry, and
Tractors.
tractors.
And the
And I thought,
ATV.
that's so freaking cool.
Well,
And
they
the
put a
places-
kibosh on the tractors and stuff like that.
but it was cool though. I mean, it's that's what somebody said. That's my hot rod, and I'm going to show it. And I actually thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
and it was nice and clean. It wasn't like just came off the field and went right into the show. It was really neat.
I don't care what you drive. Just come up and have fun.
That's it.
My first time was in Enumclaw, I heard about it from somebody, maybe my neighbor Smurf.
Sounds like it's all our first times here.
Yeah, right. It is. And I think my neighbor Smurf, he's got a 65 vet, and I think he might have told me about it. So I told Cheryl, hey, let's go see what this thing is about. And same thing, we're like 1 million people up there. Holy cow, this is crazy. And it was so neat to see all the people come together, people just hanging out, laughing, smiling, having a good time, all kind of different, all kind of different vehicles. I don't care what you have. People had brought it. I think we drove like once around, twice, but then we parked and we just wanted to walk around and see people, talk to people, see the cars, see the
People
tractors.
you've never seen before.
Yeah, and it was such refreshing. I was like, this is really cool. And then I think found out about the Facebook page and said, oh, there's more of these things. And then that led into to other events. So let me back up a little bit, though. So you went to Enumclaw, you got excited. Hey, let's do this in Puyallup. So what did that look like about trying to create that down in Puyallup?
Well, I kind of mimicked her, just created the group, got everybody's kind of response for maybe a couple days. And then I just went for it and I said, all right, let's try this. So I picked that date for the 2020 event. And normally you're supposed to permit that thing, but they knew I was coming because I emailed them. They all knew it was happening. So I think they were kind of thinking, well, let's see what this is all about.
Happens.
And as long as we do it as adults. And that cruise that night, the town was completely packed. I mean, the weather was good. Everybody came out and breathed. Everybody was just having so much fun. That kind of made me say, all right, this is a good thing. Let's keep going. So they did call me a couple days later and say, all right, the pandemic's happening. We got to watch what we do. So, but we support you. That's how I got my hand slapped a little bit, but I did it and asked later. But they knew where I was coming.
How long after you went to Enumclaw did you do Puyallup?
Right after, not too well.
Like a couple weeks?
No, it took a while to break it up to pick a date. I think I gave them a couple months.
Okay,
Yeah.
so within a couple months you
I
had
think
it.
hers was like in May or something like that.
I think
and then
that-
I did
yeah.
a couple
I just
months
looked it up.
afterward.
The May 8th, 2020 is the first one I did.
You did up there. So that's probably the one I did too. And that gave me the idea. So right after that, maybe a couple months,
Okay.
and we did that first one.
Successful.
Oh, yes.
Very successful.
Very successful.
Did you do another one did you do more that year?
No, they didn't want me. They didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble either.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to go by what my city's going to let me do it. If they say yes, you got it.
How many people do you think you had at that first?
Oh boy, I'd say 500 plus cars.
Wow.
And maybe 2 or 3 people in each car.
Oh my gosh.
And
Did
then
you have
some
any-
say we're saying 700 cars.
Did you have any stupidity? Anybody doing something stupid, or did everybody respect it and enjoy it?
98% of the people that come down respect the cruise because they
Yeah.
want it. And then
Good.
you got your little stupidity people that are going to do your burnouts and all that other stuff. I can't catch them all, and I'm not going to babysit them all. That's why
Yeah.
we have the officers. And the officers this year are going to step up a little more, and they quit being stupid.
Yeah.
No, they should.
There's no
It's-
need in that. They ruin it for everybody.
It's the
Common
few that
sense.
ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I've been to the Puyallup one probably 3 times, I think. Every time we've sat at the Les Schwab.
Yeah. We
Every
parked
time
at
we
Les
do Les
Schwab.
Schwab there, every
Okay.
single time, meeting new people I've never met before. We grab a seat, sit by the street, and it's so cool just to see all kinds of different cars. I think the last time I realized, oh man, there's a group of women only, like almost like a women only club. Like it's women in the cars driving them, and it's their cars, and there's all of them lined up together. I thought that's cool.
It is.
You don't see that very often.
Even the Jeeps, they got a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
women in Jeeps.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah. But it's cool to see all kinds of different vehicles and just people just waving at you.
I
You-
love it.
And you stopped at, and when they could tell you're ready to take a picture, just stop for you for a second, get your picture, wave on. That's so cool.
It is.
That I don't. Do you know the distance of that loop?
I don't.
So
honestly.
normally we'll get there and we'll park. We'll drive once or twice and then we'll park at the Les Schwab, like Gene said. But then I'll go walk it because I need to get my steps in. And it is that's a long.
It's a bit.
It is.
That, to go
Yeah.
all the way around.
I walk it too.
Yeah, it's
If
significant.
I want to go say hi to everybody.
Yeah, you
and
see
make sure
everybody.
Yeah.
I'll go walk it.
But man, because I think coming down into downtown, 2 or 3 lanes 2 lanes?
by the fair, or just coming
Before
into
the fair,
corner?
coming down toward the fair, like
It's
2 lanes? 2 lanes?
It's 2 lanes all the way around.
Okay, all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
And it's-
might change too.
Oh,
Yeah, so good change
To 1 lane or to more?
both ways.
Oh, okay.
So they can travel each way on this side, travel away in this side.
Interesting.
They're not always going the same loop. So there's some things going on there from what
Okay.
I'm understanding. Don't quote me on it yet, but we'll see.
Okay.
interesting. Okay, so that was 2020. Good experience. Hundreds of cars.
loved
Very
it.
positive. 2021.
They permitted 2 for me.
Okay.
So I went and talked to our police chief, and we had a nice meeting, and he kind of directed me to like the Chamber of Commerce and the Main Street. They'd help me do the permitting and what to do in Puyallup, and that's kind of what that started. So I went to the chamber, and they kind of created a flyer for me, and I made the permit for that year. So I got 2 of them for that year, and that turned out awesome too. So I'd say 500 plus cars. I'm just going to say 500 plus. So
I went to both of those.
So, and then the people that are inside, their families are all hanging out each other. It's so cool.
It is.
When you pitched it to the Chamber of Commerce, what is the pitch for them? It's like because they have to approve it, so there's got to be some hook for them that says, yes, we think this is good for the community. Is there? How do you pitch that to them? Is it economic value? Is it community? Or is it a combination of all the above?
All of it.
Okay.
So they helped me do the permitting and what the steps I need to do for the city. And then I helped them do car shows and stuff like that. So we kind of worked together. So how I pitched it to them, well, I says, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I like to do. And they were all on board for it. So they helped create that flyer that I make every year. And that's how it started with them.
So you get a permit. Does that cover the cost of like additional, police or?
So on that note, the Main Street, they provide police officers for an evening and for the weekend, and that's kind of overtime. So they pay for that, and the Main Street is our sponsor, another main sponsor we have that really helps us out. I mean, I can't believe how well this Main Street does for the town of Puyallup.
Well, I'm sorry. What is Main Street?
It's the Puyallup Main Street Association.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's an association that they help in the downtown core of keeping the businesses and everything.
So it's an association of the businesses that are out there on the main strip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got the chambers,
Yeah.
the Chamber of Commerce, and then you got the main streets for each city that has that. Some are tighter, some just help out just in that area, kind of like graffiti. When graffiti shows up, the main street gets on and it makes it look nice. So they keep it clean. But they've been a major supporter for us.
Has there any type of economic study done to say during cruise this amount of money is brought in?
Well, I did. I asked a lady to do us a kind of who's been coming to it, and I'll show you and send you that chart. And it told me where everybody's been because they used the phone where they're dinging on the phone, I guess is what it is.
Yeah,
and they used that to where how many people came in those days, and it was pretty tremendous.
Oh, I can't.
So it creates a heat map based on cell tower use. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they did that for me because I asked, well, how am I doing? What's the economy doing when the cruises happen? Which I know it's good because
it's good.
The businesses love it, and I just love it. So
Any pushback? Have there any pushback from any businesses or government or?
No,
No?
I haven't really had anything negativity.
Wow,
now,
that's
if
great.
something happens, the police officers, they will call me and say, hey, if this keeps happening, this is what we're going to do, which I agree totally. I mean, right is right, wrong is wrong. So, but no pushback on that. That was kind of the scary part in the beginning. All right, but they just kept on going. And now I did 7 permits this year with my niece, Amanda. She's kind of the heart of Cruise Puyallup. She's my secretary, my number one. So
Okay.
her name's Amanda Rosen. They did all 7 permits this year. So they have a new system, which is really good. I know they like us, so they did all 7 for us.
Well, that just shows how much they like, respect, and that there is good value for the community.
Yeah, it's a two-way.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
It's great that they're not just trying to take the money because they could, right? They could just take the money.
Well, they already get it for the taxes anyway. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
they're
And
getting paid somehow.
Well, and the amount of money, that's what I always say is when you see how many people are there and they go buy stuff, whether it's at the gas station or at the grocery store or at the restaurants,
Right.
they're spending a lot of money
Yeah.
that otherwise they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't all there together because of the cars.
Exactly.
So you got Enumclaw. It's the city of Enumclaw that has now started charging. Doing
Charging.
they were charged, wasn't they? Or I
They
thought
were
the city of
doing
Enumclaw were starting to
promotings
and now the businesses had to pick up and take the cost for the police.
Well, that's the permit. So there's a
Permits, right?
permit. There's a cost of permit,
Is that what it was?
and
Okay.
they pay.
Well, they do the same thing. They have permitting costs, and hopefully some of their cities, like whatever business is going to pay for their police officers overtime on Saturday.
Okay, so then, so what you're doing now is what Enumclaw is now having to do as of last year, I think, right?
You're right.
Yep.
They weren't
Okay,
doing
got
permitting
it.
in the beginning, but that's the way it goes. So
Yeah.
we want to do it right. I want to keep going, so I don't
Yeah.
want to just throw it in there and get in trouble.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we've got Enumclaw, Puyallup, and Sumner was, but then
Now, that's another story. So I work down in Sumner, Napa now, and everybody's been asking to get it going. So I have talked to the Sumner people, and we've put 3 permits into Sumner for the 4th Saturday of each month, and I haven't got any back, but I didn't get no. So
All right.
Cruise Puyallup is going to cruise through Sumner. So it'll be Cruise Puyallup, Cruise Enumclaw, Binford, Field of Dreams, cruising through Sumner event.
I've still not done the Field of Dreams.
Really?
We've got to do that this year. I've not done it yet.
That's my other place I helped create. That's fun.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
oh,
I've not done that one yet.
Yeah.
You and
They-
I talked about that. I think we tried to. Did we try to drive to that last year or
no, not me.
no? Okay, I was talking to somebody last year, but I've never done that one. I want to do that.
Yeah, after the first cruise in Puyallup, Dave called me and we created that field. So he had a vision, and I said, well, let's go for it.
Wow,
That's really cool.
So I've been a part of, Enumclaw kind of started the whole thing. She's my mentor, and
Yeah.
she's the one that got an idea from a friend somewhere else that was doing it, and it just kind of trickled to what's going on right now. Same with Buckley. Same.
yeah. So Buckley's done a couple,
Yep.
right? They've had a couple. Are they doing that again this
Yep.
year?
Now we worked on a little loop too, so to keep it going. So.
Yeah, I think the 2 times that I was going to go do Buckley this year, I think it rained. I think it was wet both times. And I was like, oh,
Oh, it's a fun little town. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's small, but you can keep your flow going. So just keep going or park and have fun.
I love how the community is helping each other.
Yeah.
So Dana's helping you, and then you're helping Sumner and Buckley, and the guy with the bash. So, or the Field of Dreams rather. So that's just great. I love to hear how the community is supporting each other versus this, segmenting. I'm going to do it, not help anybody.
Right.
Now we're all in this together. We
totally.
just want to enjoy the community. Dan and I talk a lot about community in the car world, especially as it relates to the car club that we're in. But community is huge.
Yeah, you're
I love hearing
absolutely
that.
right. It makes me smile every time. I get complaints here and there, but that's in and one out the other. So I've even wrote some songs because people complain about stuff. So if you go through some of my things, you'll see some songs that I wrote through AI.
I've got some instruments back
boy.
here. If you
I
need-
didn't say I could play. I said I can AI.
You say you wrote. Okay.
I can write songs and have somebody play it for me.
Co-wrote with ChatGPT.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
Well, I was writing some ChatGPT songs because of the complaints, and then I sent the words to a guy that can make them into music, kind of like the Barney, stuff that they do. You know how
hilarious.
that is. The same voice. So
Yeah.
it's funny.
So, do you have any interesting stories during the cruises? Like, I don't know, someone did something bad or something funny or any crazy?
Well, during the first, I think there was a little scuffle down by River Road that I kind of heard about, but I'm never, ever there when something's happening. And then it gets cleaned up really fast, and then you hear everybody's comments. But that kind of goes in one out the other. It's just, that stuff's going to happen.
Yep.
The biggest one is how my mom passed away August cruise, that morning of the August cruise. It was like she set the tone. So that's my biggest story right now for this year. Every August, I'm going to celebrate my mom because she's the queen of Puyallup Cruise. She supported me so much and kept pushing me to keep doing it and keep doing it. So August is cruise. The Crosby Cruise is what I'm going to call it.
Oh, I like
Something
that.
So
I
just
like
because of her
that.
and my family, because my brother, if you see our logo, it's got the yellow truck, the blue Chevy, and my Chevelle in the middle of it. That's the yellow truck's my dad, the blue truck's my brother, and the red truck's me and my mom.
Oh.
So that's how that kind of played into that logo. My niece created that too, so she's done really well. I'll have to come up here with my niece and we'll have a chat.
Oh, yeah. I would
she's
be
got
love
some
to.
cool
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
She's a car show guru. She does car shows really well. So need anybody to do car shows, she's the girl.
Okay. Well, I think I just saw something posted about, is it something up in Milton? They're looking for someone to
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen them do that up there. So, which is really cool. I'm glad they're getting involved.
Yeah.
So,
I've never seen anything up in that area do much of anything. It seems like all the car activity is really down on this end. I mean, maybe there's some stuff up there, but it seems like there's just so much more happening down here.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So so you're talking about the yellow truck.
So that's my me and my dad worked in the paper mill in Tacoma, and an oiler of ours that we knew owned that yellow truck, and he was a smoker. He smoked cigarettes all the time, so it tarred it up really well. But me and my father said, well, we want this because my dad wanted it, so we both bought it from him, and he just had it detailed and just so nice. So the yellow truck is the one that really has got me inspired. I still drive it. He replaced the motor in that thing before he had a triple bypass, and he put a 98 Expedition motor in there, a 5.4, I think.
Okay.
And it barely fits, but it fits okay. But he got to see it go to the muffler shop, and that was it. And he didn't make it past his bypass. He never got to see it. So I'm driving it as much as I can.
Yeah.
And that's really what kind of started the whole thing in terms of the theme.
And that is an old Ford
69
69
Yeah.
Ford 100?
Ranger, yep,
Okay.
with the long bed. So
Yeah.
And then the 56, we had a
Yes,
teal
please.
green one, which had a 6-cylinder. My brother was always infatuated, so he wanted to get that thing back because we sold it years ago to some guy at work. He turned it red, but we've never seen it again. So he wanted to do that, but he couldn't. But he just passed away too. So hopefully his kids are going to keep doing that too. So either way, I know some people that have that kind of truck. So we have taken pictures like that in life. So it's kind of neat down
Yeah.
at the Barker's barn. So,
Oh, yeah.
So
We went, remember, I think we went down to,
We tried to.
I think we
it too
we
full?
got there early. No, I think we got there
really early.
Really early. We're going to go, I don't remember the details. I think we're doing a drive, and then we stopped by there, but it was like 3 or 4 hours before it was going to start or something like that. And then there was like one car there, maybe.
Yeah.
So we
It was
we
really
ended up
early.
left, and I think we went on a drive.
That's
so
right.
we'd actually never been there.
You were in the C8.
Yeah, I was running
the Stingray, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, they've had one for 2 years now there, and I believe it's not going to go there. So it's going to be somewhere else. But
Oh.
I'll let you guys know about that later.
No. Okay.
To be determined.
All right.
TBD. So any big plans for this year other than obviously the cruising, but anything else that
Well, the June cruise is we're making the theme is cruising into Meeker Days. So Meeker Days is the week afterwards. So I'm helping the Meeker Days committee, kind of help support that. So I'm really into the Meeker Mansion. I'm really into the Meeker Days, all that destination that comes to Puyallup.
Okay, where is that? I don't know what Meeker is.
Well, Ezra Meeker was the founder of Puyallup.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever see the Ezra Meeker Mansion, that's where he lived. Do you know where that is?
No. So
Oh.
I've only been here about 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Tampa boy, so I moved here about 10 years ago. So I know a few things.
So if you
but not
drive
a lot.
on the backside before the railroad tracks, on the right, there's a mansion on the right.
Okay.
Right behind an antique store. So but that's kind of what started all of Puyallup, him.
yeah.
So that's kind of where it's starting for the history of it. And I'm trying to make it a new destination style, not the old, make it new. I want some mascots. I want Disney style stuff. I want it to be fun so the family can come down.
Sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
So that's kind of what we're doing with the June cruise is cruising into Meeker Days.
And where do you start?
Well, we start anywhere. Cruising the loop, you start anywhere on that loop. There is no starting spot. Yeah. So you can start up at Meridian.
Just keep going.
And keep going.
Just connect in.
Soon it is becoming more compact, like Enumclaw, it just stops. So what I would like to do in the future is kind of veer it off to East Main going towards Sumner to where you can get your motor circulating more, because that's what everybody's kind of complaints is they overheat. So you can turn off there, and then I'm going to make some destinations down there because some restaurants and everything want people to park there too. So kind of like where the Mrs. Turner's is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So if we go that way towards Sumner, there's a lot of parking place. So the bigger it gets, I think the flow will go this way and then come back, make our own. Kind of like what you were doing in that other place.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that really is.
But then I got other ideas that goes into that plan, like murals, destinations to take pictures with your classic cars or your families. All kinds of different ideas are going through my brain.
Yeah, that one place down in Ording, they've got that really good mural on the side of the building by
the school, or before the school.
It's right by the trail. It's at the parking for the trailhead. It's I forgot what building, but I've got a picture I'll have to show you.
It's got going towards Southbury.
In Ording,
right?
At the trailhead at Ording, across from like Legendary
Donuts.
It's actually across from. What's the sporting goods bit?
Oh, okay, yes.
There's a mural on that back wall there. It's really cool to when you can stop there. And then up here in Wilkeson, they've got one up in Wilkeson too. Those are always cool to find those places and to get pictures. Oh, and they got one down in Puyallup. Didn't you guys have one done down in Puyallup with
there's a few of them.
The drag. I'm thinking of the drag car that just.
Oh yes, the Puyallup Raceway.
Puyallup Raceways.
Yeah, that's kind of what really got me kickstarted in that, because that's pretty darn cool. That is a destination for people to take their cars, and it's on our loop, so you can turn off our loop, go get your picture taken,
exactly,
and then go that way. So that's what I'm all about. More of those. Not so much. It has to be that.
Yeah.
But things that interact with people, you can go up to the mural and go, "Hey, I'm holding this, whatever." Stuff like that. So if I start doing it down that way, that's going to be another destination. I'm all about destinations.
Yeah.
Make them come down and enjoy it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll just veer into Sumner as we go. We'll block all of it. No.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad to meet you.
Well, I'm glad to meet you guys too.
It's great.
This is kind of new to me, so thanks for letting me learn this podcast stuff.
Yeah, it was great to hear the history and the kind of the background, and just to know some people behind the stuff that we enjoy. So I appreciate the time, and till next time, cheers.